Hi, my name is Talia. Welcome to Talia Nerds Out. It's been a little bit since I've done a booktube video. This will probably be pretty short. I had more of one that I wanted to do, but I've been feeling pretty rough the past couple weeks. I'm actually not feeling very well right now, but it's just weather and light sensitivity, all that kind of jazz. Plus, I just overdid things yesterday. But yeah, the light sensitivity is why I'm wearing the hood. I made several of these just as a way to block light. I knit several of these over the past few years just as a way to block light when I'm having particularly bad days. But yeah, so this is hopefully going to be what gets me through this video. But yeah, so I used to, while I was still able to work, I worked for a short period of time, well, about a year from a wheelchair. I can do one video with light sensitivity. But anyway, so this is going to be a book haul video. When I'm feeling better, I will go more into a wrap-up of Northanger Abbey. I finished reading that and finished reading one other book. Go more into things that I'm reading, but this is what I have the energy for right now. So, I have my book haul broken up into two parts. Now, one of the books don't fit into either of the parts. Now, all the parts are in one video just because, yeah. Anyway, this book doesn't fit really into either of the two sections that this video is in. This I got from, at least I saw it on JaneAustenBooks.net. I'm not sure if I got it there, if I got it used elsewhere. Regardless, this is the English year. Basically, it's personal selection by Roy Strong and Julia Trevelyan-Ullman from one of the most popular of all Victorian books, The Book of Days. And it's supposed to give a unique picture of the rhythm of life in English rural society before the Industrial Revolution. It looks like it's a mixture of calendar and history book. It's so, like, for example, today is August, well, it just turned August 3rd, so let me go ahead and find August 3rd here. And so it has a picture of, well, I can't quite read it because it's in handwriting, I'll have to look at it closer, but it'll have a picture, have a little bit of a description. Sometimes there'll be typed text. Sorry, it makes me think of a scrapbook. Now, I will probably start this in the new year so I can just go from start to finish on appropriate days. Here's a little bit earlier on in the year where it has just like random things about, nightingale for April, because it's an April bird. It has some information here about Thomas Beddoes, physician, 1760. So yeah, it just looks like a fun little, it feels like a history scrapbook of the era. So it just looked like it'd be fun. Haven't really looked through it terribly much because I wanted to wait till I could start at the beginning of the year. Then the other, then I was talking about that this video would be in two sections. The books that fall in the first section, this is literary history. So I have, first of all, before novels, the cultural context of 18th century English fiction. This one I got through eBay. I did, all of these books I at least saw on JaneAustenBooks.net, but most of them I believe I ended up getting at other locations used because it was just less expensive that way. And so this one just looks like it'll be very interesting. I'm guessing that it'll cover probably histories. I'm guessing maybe mythology. I'm just interested in seeing where the journey into English fiction before the actual novel. Then this one is The Realist Novel in England, A Study in Development by, is the name Io? It doesn't look like it's a J. Let's see, because I would have said Joan initially, but, okay, no, it is an I, so I don't know how that name's pronounced. Ian? I don't know, Williams. And so it's going to be talking about Dickens. So it starts off with English novel in the Romantic period, where Austen covers a lot of different parts of the. When you're talking about the types of novel, that's one thing that one of the books I finished on Jane Austen, Jane Austen's characters and what they read. I'll go through this more when I cover that book in more detail, but they talk about how she has a discussion about the types of novels in her work. But anyway, this book is going to cover things about the English novel, like the novel in the Romantic period, Jane Austen's novels, Walter Scott, Victorian novels, including Dickens, his realism. Got George Eliot here, George Meredith. So I'm just looking forward to. I'm just interested in history of writing in general, anyway, as well as the psychology of it. And I mentioned that when I was talking about the last book, Jane Austen's characters and what they read. Now, apparently, this is a series. I only got book 6 because it was the one that had to deal with Austen. Maybe eventually I'll fill out the whole series. But this is a Barnes & Noble series, it looks like. The History of the English Novel. And this particular volume, volume 6, covers Edgeworth, Austen, and Scott. Now, I picked up specifically because Austen was in here. I actually don't think I've read either Maria Edgeworth or Walter Scott, so it would be good to learn more about both of them. Or maybe I've read Walter Scott and just don't realize it. It looks like this also has some annotations. I think you can see in the margins. So yeah, these are the books that, particularly the ones that mention Austen in particular, I can see reading during Jane Austen July at some point. This one I definitely did see on JaneAustenBooks.net, but I ended up getting off of Amazon because I could get used for a lot less expensive. This is Sister Novelists. I've never heard of them. The trailblazing Porter sisters who paved the way for Austen and the Brontes. And I guess that they wrote, they were, just as the title says, a couple of sisters who wrote novels before, and apparently contemporarily with Austen is the impression I got. I do intend to read some of their works as well, but I've never heard of them. Their names are Jane and Anna Maria Porter. They are exact contemporaries of Austen. They are brilliant, self-made single women of polite reputation who between them published 26 books and achieved global fame. So I have personally never heard of either of these ladies. Has anyone heard of these ladies? And if you have you read how many of their works have you read, if any? So yeah, I just found that to be very interesting. I thought that I had at least heard of most of the big name female authors around that era, even if I hadn't read them. But I guess that I had overestimated how much I knew of female authors of the era. So that is what I would consider the literature section of my book haul. And I'm just going to, I think I have a few more books for this read-along coming in, but Book Zealots and I believe it's Elders Speak? I think it's, hold on. It's Elder Talk, actually. I think that's what it's T-A-L-K, not talk like a book talk. They're doing I'm trying to, just pulling up her name just to make sure. Yeah, it's Elder Talk, but not talk as in TikTok, but talk as in speaking. So, Elder Talk and the Book Zealots, they're doing a David McCullough read-along for 2024 through 2026. I will link the information in the description. And they're starting this month with the Johnstown flood, the incredible story behind one of the most devastating disasters America's ever known. And they're reading David McCullough's books in order. So this one was written in 1968. So, 68? Yeah, 68. And so this is his first one. This is the one for August. I was hoping it would come in today, my physical form. I'm guessing it'll come in tomorrow, maybe Monday. But I have borrowed the audiobook from Libby so I can at least get started. And this book is one of his shorter ones. It's about 300 pages. It's a 9-hour long audiobook, though, approximately. And actually, it has been kind of the perfect thing for today when my page has really been too bright and I just really couldn't handle any sort of light. So listening to the audiobook it was really good that I had that available today. Now, I'm not going to run through the order. I did print out the reading schedule. I will put the video, the information in the description for everything you need to find the rules and stuff. The video I watched about it was on Elder Talk's channel. I believe Book Zealots have a video about it as well, though, and they're the ones who I originally heard about the read-along from. But some of the other ones that are going to be on the read-along, let me see if I can at least put it somewhat in order. Actually, I'm not going to worry about putting it in order. I'm just going to, because I need to just get through this. But I think this one might have arrived no, I know it arrived first. I got in first. This is based off of a recommendation. Oh, let me get this off the edge of my book. My dad recommended, even though he hasn't read it yet, he had recommended to me McCullough's book on Truman. Said he had heard it was excellent. So even before I heard about this read-along, this came in. So this book, I'm just checking my notes. I believe it's over 1,000 pages. It is 1,120 pages. So it's a huge book, as you can see. Oh, looks like I have a little tear here. I'm going to have to make sure I tape that down because this was a used book. I'll just have to put a marker there so I remember to tape that so it doesn't tear later, or tear worse later. There we go. So yeah, this is the first one of my non-John Adams, David McCullough books that came in. Because I've had John Adams for a while. This one just looked interesting to me, and I guess that this was one of the last ones that he wrote. Just getting tags off of it. This is The Greater Journey, Americans in Paris. And it looks like it's talking about the literary community and the scientific community, the medical community. I think I just tore this book jacket a little bit. Yeah, I did. Oops. Oh well, he's a character. I'm gonna tear my book jacket because I wasn't careful. There we go. But yeah, this just looks interesting to me, because I do know that when I would study about, I forget what I was studying about in medical history, where they were talking, it was Joseph Leister, anyway. It was The Butchering Art, where he mentioned some of the studies coming from Paris, I believe it was that book, about how advanced medical studies were in France. So that part alone seems interesting to me. So this just looks like it would be very interesting. Yes. Then I'm not sure what order either of these arrived in, but this is Brave Companions, Portraits in History by David McCullough. This has to be his shortest one. Well, other than the ones that are like less than 100 pages, but it says in my list it's 240 pages. Okay, it is. So, and this is just like little, I gather it's little biographies of people they didn't have enough information for an entire book. So, just mini biographies. Which is cool because it gives you a little bit of a landscape that you might not have gotten otherwise. It lets you know the stories of people who, they do have stories worth telling, but they don't necessarily have enough to fill a whole book. Then, I almost didn't pick up this one, because I was like, well, I'm reading a lot in this era anyway. Do I really need a more general book? But I decided, since I'm picking up all of David McCullough's books anyway, I might as well read this one as well. So this is 1776. So obviously, we're dealing with the Revolutionary War. I have been reading more specific. I finished George Washington, I want to say last year. I'm reading Dr. Benjamin Rush this year. And I have several other more focused books on various people within the Revolution. But I've not read anything of recent dates that is more general, so this will be good as well. I think this will be a nice read that will probably go by pretty quickly, since I feel like I've been pretty up to date on this, although I won't be reading this until January 2026 if I keep with the schedule. Now this is the last of the ones that I have right now. I still have others coming in to fill out my collection, but this is Mornings on Horseback about Theodore Roosevelt. And actually, considering the fact that it's got a little bit of a bend in its cover, it seems to be in pretty good shape. And he's just an interesting person anyway, so this should be a good read. This is one of the last ones I want to say. Oh, never mind, it's really I thought. This is March 2025 that we'll be reading this. So it's early to midway through his writing. Because I made a Storygraph challenge, not directly tied to this. I just like keeping track of how much of an author's book catalog I've read. So I have a David McCullough challenge on there that's just not tied to a particular challenge. It just has no beginning date, no end date, just a good place to track what you've read. And I'm not sure where I was going with that. Anyway, I think I was saying that I believe there are about 12 books, including his shorter things. They're like speeches or whatever, or lectures. So I think that's where I was going with it. I will try to remember to link the Storygraph challenge as well. Like I said, it's not officially connected to this read-along, although obviously if either Book Zealots or Elder Talk, want the link, I'll happily give it to them. It's just, I personally like using Storygraph as a way to track my reading for specific authors. It's just convenient. But yeah, really looking forward to his read-along. I'm enjoying the Johnstown Flood so far. I'm about 15% through the audiobook. Look forward to my physical book coming in hopefully tomorrow or Monday. Thank you very much for joining me today for this really low energy video. Hopefully next one will be a bit better. I'm really not feeling very well, so next time I record, I will have more energy and be able to talk more about the books that I am reading and that I have finished, because I know I have things I want to say about the ones that I have finished. But yeah, thank you very much for joining me. I will see you again next time. God bless. Bye.